I swear he played Dwarf for a while as well. I can't remember what team. He was on Mistress Academy. Yes, that was
yeah, that's what I remember.
That was when it was Crosshair.
Exactly. Yes.
In the mid lane. Oh, that lineup, dude.
Yeah.
God damn, that took me back.
Good old days. You sound about 70 right now, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
I know,
Let's
right?
get into the game.
I just remember seeing Chris Bugs' lineup like, oh, this is right. I was like,
yeah.
And like, Dem Voxney is now that guy to me. Like, whenever I see Dem Voxney on a lineup, I'm like, I don't care who the other four are.
Top 3 roster.
This is literally a top tier roster just because Dem Voxney's on it.
We could be on his team and be a top 3 roster.
well, let's maybe you. I don't know about me, but
no, not me anymore. I'm a bit washed. I'll be honest.
I don't know where to go with that, mate.
All good.
It's fine. I'll bully you about it later. But yeah, I do feel like even so, this is. You've still got Chris Berg and Touch on this very, very strong bot lane duo. Obviously, the major weakness with this is, like you said, Nash is very, very capable on this Rakan. Zeri is still one of the best AD carries in the meta right now. So, there is that expectation, but potentially this bot lane could maybe not go as expected. But I feel like just the amount of targeted, selected CC available to both Ploxy and Touch, Dem Voxney is in for a pretty terrifying game.
Yeah, and I've got to say, something really curious as well is the fact that Nash, I can't remember if he blind picked Rakan or he took it into the Nautilus, but usually Nautilus is picked as a counter, like Hard Engage is picked as a counter into Rakan, alongside usually like kill lane AD carries, but Kai'Sa does a decent amount of damage, So just confidence coming out from Nash with his picks, maybe teams have to start banning his second rotation. I think he's just insane at it. I don't think we're going to see very much action early. I'll say it. We have a Stonewall picks top lane, right? That just get minus CS leads or do nothing at all. Bot lane, maybe we'll see something, but like their bot lane is safe as well. Ruddy's bot lane is safe. I think at level 6, when we start seeing it, I don't think anything's going to happen here.
Oh.
Yeah. He's too clean.
He's too clean.
Nice. But I think when we start seeing the point-and-click ultimates, what we're going to start seeing is Nautilus moving up to the Jace lane. Jace is extremely susceptible to ganks, right? This is what we see, and this is why, another reason why I like the point-and-click, because I think you can just roam mid at level 6 with Nautilus R or Vi R, and just chain that with a charm, and Jace is dead every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Lingui, though, actually having a pretty rough start here versus Rifty. Rifty definitely out-trading and got that farm lead over him. I believe he just ate a Q there from Rifty because his health bar just shot down. Proxy going to try and see if he can turn this lane around, but Rifty, one good Q here, might just be able to get away. Goes in for the ghost.
Oh, the
interrupt. He cancels the Q from Ploxy. Still going to keep the pressure up. Ploxy got that free hit on the Vi, just looking for a little bit more damage. Is Rifty going to land this? No, he's not.
Just surviving there with that ghost. Some excellent laning from Rifty. Crucially, does not have ghost now, so got to be careful of those ganks again. Really nice timing on that Q3 to interrupt Vi. I think Vi gets cooldown reduction when her Q is interrupt. I'm not too sure on that, but it does look like it because it was up really quickly. Nothing's going to happen of it, though. He's going to TP back and all is well. I think, like we said, not much is going to happen until level 6. No Name is going to farm up a Storm. This is a really big counterpick into Vi, right? So this is probably something they were thinking. Vi against Udyr is incredibly tough. Look at that farm differential already in the jungle because Vi is trying to make plays, whereas Udyr is just farming. So this is like a team effort. Surviving the ganks from Vi is a must when your Udyr is power farming, because essentially Udyr is your carry, right? If you're inting whilst Udyr is trying to farm, you just lose the game. So really well done from Rifty and good team play overall.
Really nice stuff coming in from them on that front. Ploxy obviously going to be a little bit slower at that point where, Vi's clear. Does speed up significantly, but, does need a bit of time before they're able just to completely smash through the camps like No Name just naturally is here. And I guess for No Name, he does still have to wait for some of these jungle camps to respawn because he does clear at a relatively decent pace on that front. Ploxy, obviously, unable to find that gank in the top side. Does burn both of Rifty's summoner spells, though, which is a big one there. Lingui did use his teleport after getting pretty heavily chunked out, and bases and gets himself a coal. I believe he's... Yeah, he started with... He's got the coal now, so... Has got that to work with. Hook goes a little bit wide from Touch. Then Voxy and Natch are definitely playing this very effectively on just the dodging game, avoiding these hooks from Touch, because that is the difference of what can control you and get you a lot of pressure in your lane. As Lingui gets to shove in onto Rifty here. It's just going to rotate over. Question is when are we going to see some action? Is it just that level 6, like you said, and see where Ploxy just jumps in onto Naita? Luca should be closing in on that 6. maybe next wave, maybe this wave. Oh, no, it'll be this wave. I always forget how much experience you get there. Oh, no, it's next wave.
Yeah, it's the 530 cannon wave for anyone who doesn't know. Level 6 comes at the 530 cannon wave. You kill a minion, you're level 6. So, gonna wait a few more seconds. People are gonna TP back to lane. Jace and Ari are gonna TP back to lane or walk back to lane. And we're gonna see them hit level 6 now. Ari's obviously a lot more, like, benefits from that a lot more, right? Because Ari actually has an ultimate, whereas Jace doesn't. So maybe now we're going to see some plays. Of course, junglers are going to be behind in XP, so Vi, crucially. We need the Vi ultimate, realistically, to see Jace die. Granted, Nita's put on some pretty good performances recently, right? Like, I want to highlight how consistently Nita has made some really good micro plays. He has had some pretty poor KDAs, which is why I want to highlight, despite the KDAs, watching him from the eye test, I'm actually really impressed. So I expect to see him not in, you know, but maybe we're going to see a contest here. Does look like Chrisberg and Touch and Ploxy have decided, you know what, we want a contest, we want a piece of it.
Oh, I think they're a little bit too slow. He's going to try and queue in. The smite steal by Ploxy into the hook. Chrisberg set up for the damage. That exhaust does not mean squat. Ploxy finds first blood.
And they just flank around. I wonder if Ruddy just didn't expect that flank around, expected them to come through a different direction, because you can see they have a ward down to see people coming. Suddenly they appear from topside. No Name tries to smite, goes down to like 50 HP, and it just goes over the way of Ploxy. So really well done on that smite steal. Udi is down now, and it's definitely going to slow down the game for Ruddy. I'm really concerned because I'm seeing those tab eyes being built now, and when we start seeing the armor being picked up, I'm wondering if they're going to have enough damage if they're not accelerated.
Yeah, exactly. Man, honestly, I can't believe Vanir got away with that. Like, they went full Ewan McGregor and went the long way around, and even so, still able to get the smite, still able to get the kill. And Ploxy, you know, we were talking about how he was slipping behind a little bit to the likes of No Name. Now getting that kill has pulled himself back in, has accelerated him a little bit more. It's just going to be clearing away. Got that Warhammer, so we'll be building towards that chainsword as expected. As Rifty is just going to get hit by the passive of Lingui there.
Yeah. I want to highlight what you said with Ploxy. I was rating, like, so I like to rate players myself as I watch the games. How do I think of them, you know, generally? And when I watched Ploxy play, I had him as, like, joint best player on the team alongside Luca. Chrisberg is really good, don't get me wrong. He's like their insurance, but the people that make the plays are Ploxy and Luca. They're incredibly consistent. I think Luca's a really good mechanical player. He has had some missteps in draft, picking stuff like Galio into Cassiopeia, and he can't play the game. But often, the plays come from Luca. He was the one making plays into Nord, finding flanks and stuff like this. And I want to bring this back to, like, consistency, because it feels like these players, they have such high peaks, right? Like I said, making the plays against Nord, but then they'll make poor plays against someone like Natives. It's really confusing. So I hope to see the good side of Vanir here today.
I'm curious. I haven't spoken to Namira about Ari in a while. Is this spellbook normal? Ooh,
Spellbook normal? I think it is, yes. But does it? Nice flash.
Oh, that flash. He actually might turn this. Chrisberg misses everything. They jump in. The charm. The ignite goes down, and that's the kill onto Nita. In comes No Name. Chrisberg ults in, secures himself the kill. The flash out to safety as No Name gets himself the not bear slap, the new slap down, and secures himself a kill onto Chrisberg.
And a sigh of relief. A sigh of relief for the side of Ruddy, because they managed to pick something up finally. They were just bleeding out, losing kills mid, dying mid lane as the Jace. We harped on about how he's so gankable. They just had to press R, and then the follow-up with the charm is super easy. Finally, they find a pick. I believe it was onto Chrisberg, right? At least getting a kill for No Name here, accelerating him a little bit. You can see he's building towards that demonic embrace. Hopefully he gets there in time.
Oh, man, hopefully, but that was rough as up. Rifty actually going in for the all-in on Lingui. He saw the ultimate go down.
Ooh.
Does just dash out again. Not going to get himself in danger yet. Rifty, there's a fair amount of HP there, but it's going to be A-OK. Ploxy now actually got 2/3 of his ultimate cooldown timer. There we go. Back and available to himself. Nita is going to be flashless again, and Luca will have his ultimate back up. So the ability to repeat gank to mid lane is very much there for them, and I think they need to be respectful towards that. Does look like for now, though, can see Nash just moving forward, getting a lovely line of vision right through that red side jungle. Any movement Ploxy makes in that jungle will be completely shared information by Ruddy. They'll have really, really good knowledge of what the hell's going on in that part of the map, and it looks like Ploxy about to hit 6. Look where he's going.
Absolutely. I mean, look, the thing is, right? I'm just so stunned. How do you play this game as Jace now? This draft is so good into the Jace because he hates hard engage and mid lane pick. Look, he's just going to sit there. So it's incredibly annoying for Niter to play because he has to call, every time he wants to farm a wave, he has to call for someone to shadow him, like be behind him. Whether it's Rakan, Nash on Rakan, or the Udyr. I think the lethal range is even under his tower.
Yep, well, we're about to find out. Luca can jump in. Charm's down, Everfrost in as well. They don't fully commit, actually. It's No Name making his way over. Luca has another chance of the ultimate, has a second one as well. They threw 4 people to defend Niter there. And yes, Ploxy maybe overreaching a little bit. Maybe there's a bit of miscommunication because it did feel like Luca was slow to return on that jump in. But even so, Niter getting heavily chunked out and now has to play extra careful.
Yeah, and that is best case scenario for Ruddy, you've got to say. To survive these dives is incredibly fortunate because it's so easy for you to die, and that's exactly what you want. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, you're going to have to recall, but at least you can TP back in a few seconds' time when it's off cooldown. Ruddy going to start this dragon again. Let's hope it's not a repeat of the next one, but I doubt it. They're just coming out of base. It does look like they're going to secure their first dragon.
Absolutely. Looks like Ploxy not going to be in range to steal it this time. We'll just be able to move away. Dragon secured. Hextech over. The soul is going to be an ocean as well, so a bit more sustained. There's actually, going back towards that river, did see a little bit of a spot coming out from both Touch and Ploxy. They now both have ultimate. Oh, sorry, Ploxy's almost got his ultimate up. That is scary for Voxney and Niter because that is a lot of just secured CC to lock you down.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see how these fights go as we get into mid-game because I feel like it's just so easy, right? Another topic you could talk about when it's not elite tier of play, even in elite tier of play, is ease of execution. And it's just so easy to press R, right? And then follow up with something, whether it's a Gnar Rage Bar, you know, or a Charm. Literally anything. So, want to see how that goes. We'll have to see as the mid-game fights go at the Dragons, at the Heralds as they respawn.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've had a quick technical pause as it's about a couple of times already today, but I honestly, over to the side of Vanir, I think they're playing this draft very, very well. Obviously they are playing versus Ruddy, a team who we'll very solidly think is the 3rd best team in the league. I'm curious for your thoughts on you know, what you think Ruddy need to be doing. Do you think they're fine just sitting back and catching waves, or do you think, you know, Vanir just have a very solid draft and that limits a window of opportunity for Ruddy?
I mean, that realistically depends on how effective an AD composition is with Udyr as like a sole AP threat. Yes, you have a bit of Zeri. I really maybe I have an off take on how good that is, but I feel like that puts a timer on draft. If I'm correct in that limiting you to a full AD composition,
yeah.
I know you have your Phoenix stance, but that doesn't feel like a lot, you know? It doesn't feel like a core bit of damage. If that's the case, if it's as bad as I think it sounds, then for sure, I think Ruddy need to make proactive plays. Get these dragons, which is this is why it was such a shame they lost that first one, why I highlighted it so much. Niter getting knocked out by Shelly there mid-Q. Sorry, that was pretty funny. Little interaction there, but for sure, I think Ruddy need to make plays. But the problem is they can't do anything proactive. Their champions are not designed for that. Right?
Absolutely.
So it feels like they're pinned to a rock and a hard place where they can't make plays, but they're also get outscaled.
Oh, Ploxy is going to get spotted out here by No Name. I'm curious how diveable Rifty was there if No Name wasn't around. Do you think Asante is like that diveable?
He has a lot of damage reduction. He's also got Ninja Turbo versus double AD topside, potentially, which is why he's respecting it. I think he also has CC immunity, so it's really hard to dive him. I don't think he was diveable personally. If I was Rifty, I would have stayed there.
Ploxy's in danger.
Engage.
He has to flash away. In comes Touch on the side. Luca launches over the wall, jumps in, gets the Everfrost onto 2. They do get the charm onto Luca, but Luca still has one more dash. If he can get the kill, he can reset, but he can't find it. And there they go. Finally finding their opportunity, but they trade out 1 for 1. Knight is heavily chunked. The hook comes in, and the trade out. Nash can't limp away, as the smite is going to be enough to finish him up. Ploxy coming in with a double kill.
And there is the ease of execution. They press R on Rifty and he falls. He actually doesn't fall. He stays alive, but everyone else falls as well. It's just so easy for Vanir to play. I actually think they might take the dub here. I think Ruddy have really pinned themselves in a hole. And this is a consistent theme we're seeing from Ruddy drafts. Go back a couple weeks to the infamous Lee Sin draft where they just couldn't play the game because of different mismatch of themes, suboptimal picks here and there. I think it's happening again. I think a lot of people are going to be wrong in predictions today, and Ruddy are going to take the L here.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, maybe No Name's champ pool might be a bit of an issue for him, to be honest. He has been finding himself, you know, sometimes picking up junglers that maybe don't suit the draft he's been playing. We talked about the Sylas. The potential for Sylas in this game could have been huge. It could have been absolutely groundbreaking and game-changing as Demvoxny, if he eats this depth charge, he might be in trouble. Nash is going to force the flash out, and Demvoxny is able to just about get away. There's a whole bunch of damage actually out. Getting that chain off from the ultimate.
Demvoxny trying to dash one way, and Tux trying to predict the Mad Life. Doesn't quite work out. I don't think Ploxy's going to be able to do anything here. You have No Name shadowing, though. You have No Name shadowing. I'd hope this is enough. But Luca is moving down, so they do have numbers advantage. I'd hope they see this and they back off, because Nita cannot move.
I think they've been spotted out finally. Demvoxny.
The Hex Flash?
Maybe getting Hex Flashed. Oh, no touch! Not like this!
Oh, don't zoom in. Don't do him like that.
Oh, no do him like that.
Observers.
He completely fumbled the flash.
We've all done it. Come on. Let's be real. We've all done it. Chrisberg?
Well, okay. The kill potential onto Demvoxny has now gone, as he got himself chunked out. They're on a ward, by the way. They know this is potentially going on, but they're still going to throw everything down onto Demvoxny. He's getting double chain CC'd, and now the shutdown onto Ploxy is very much an option. The laser beam comes in. Luca misses Charm, misses Everfrost. The shot blast goes wide. Ruddy just toying with Vanir, but Vanir strong enough right now to be able to limp away from that fight.
And Ruddy playing so well around Vision right there, inviting Ploxy to come Q-dash in, because they know he's there, and they could just exhaust him, burst him afterwards. They know that Chrisberg just burned ultimate, leaving that bush, and he doesn't have it, so he wouldn't be able to follow up. They know that Touch does not have ultimate on that Nautilus to follow up. They invite it, and they outplay, and they manage to find some tempo, right? So this is really crucial. They're going to be first on the map to that Drake, get those objectives, start stacking that Drake up again, and I think Vanir know that. They see their topside camps and they decided, you know what, guys? We're not going to contest this dragon. We're late on it. We'll just cross map and do Rift Herald with our top lane priority instead.
Absolutely. Well, Ruddy now going to be able to get their second Drake of the game, uncontested. Rift Herald, like you said, is going to be the trade off here, though, as Ploxy able to pick this one up. Building towards that Triforce as his next item, I believe. So, actually changing
Divine Sunderer, potentially.
Oh, Divine Sunderer. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Divine Sunderer, yeah. Now, I'm just thinking, because I was like, it's interesting because the build last patch was chainsawed into one of the newer tank items, and I'm still...
Radiant Virtue, right?
Radiant Virtue, that's the one. Actually shifting it up and actually going more damage-orientated, because obviously Chainsaw got nerfed, so they go to Cleaver, into either Divine Thunder or Triforce. This is the more traditional vibe from what we saw prior to the new tank items coming out. And are still going to get two charges out here. Not going to be able to follow up with a tower itself. Good charm from Luca, but Nash is able to dash away to safety.
Nice little siege, like you said. And just to bring it back to that vibe point, yeah, I think the idea here is Ploxy, he doesn't want to be Black Cleaver into Radiant Virtue, because he doesn't, with all these kills, he has managed to nab every single kill somehow. He doesn't want to spend that gold on tank stats, you know. He wants to carry, opting more for a tank build, sorry, a carry build rather. And we've seen Carry Vi do some things sometimes. Over in NA, I remember Inspire just one-shotting people with full lethality, actually. So we see him accelerated. On the flip side, though, you see No Name, supposed to be ahead of the curve with his faster clearing jungle, is actually behind him in terms of components. Yes, he's down kills, but not something you'd expect either.
So do you think this isn't the new Vi build? This is just a Vi building because they're ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Radiant Virtue is still broken, but maybe they decided, you know what, Nautilus can build Radiant Virtue, we don't need another one. So he's saying, you know, I can afford to not be tanky this game. Let me just go carry build, Nautilus will tank the skill shots, because you need someone to be tanky enough to, for example, block those Jace Qs, right? Yeah. Versus poke compositions, you need a beefy frontline to soak them up. Nah can't do it. Vi could do it with Radiant, but they have a Naut, so why not?
I also believe, you know, even after you go Divine Thunderer here, or Triforce, but they have gone Divine Thunderer, you can then now just go into more tanky items and a tankier build off the back of this. It's just like a front-loader damage. You still get quite a lot of health off this. You still have quite a lot of early sustain before like the damage really spikes on the enemy team. Now he can go for, you know, the likes of either a Death's Dance, or he can just go instead like a more traditional tank item build here. I'd be curious to see what the build is by Ploxy.
Yeah.
It's what I love about new patches, especially when there's been like big item changes and big champion changes. I know Vi wasn't massively touched, but her core build was touched. So it is interesting to see, you know, how this changes the way in which these champions play. Because Vi isn't meta because of her build. She's meta because of the utility she brings to the team. So being able to actually then force to change the build from the champion does still change, in a way, the way the champion actually affects the game.
Absolutely, and I think another alternative is potentially GA third. You are a diving champion, so that does assist on that. Armor versus full AD team comp is also really good. Does look like the teams are going to contest for mid prio, saying that as a TP flank for the side of Vanir.
Luca instantly dashing out, does land a cheeky charm onto No Name. That was stunning. Death charge lands as well onto No Name, and now Demvoxy trying to see if he can find an opportunity. Lingui has flashed, so Ruddy have to be very, very careful. Lingui coming in, jumps forward, doesn't actually quite get the opportunity. Narbar starting to tick down, and Vanir low HP. I don't know how long until that dragon. I think they still got a bit of time, but it's just a 1 for none in favor of Vanir.
And this is where I start to see a lot of inconsistencies pop up for Vanir when I watch them in other games. Their mid game can be really good. It can also be terrible, right? I believe in the game versus Nord, Chrisberg face-checked the bush he had no business going to, right? It was just lazy pathing in the end. And they lost the game off of it. It started a fight, and he fought under, like, unideal circumstances. He gets ulted by a Wukong as Varus, and you just can't deal with that, so they lose a Baron. Right, so I really want to see them shore up these weaknesses that I saw before. Inconsistencies, laziness in play, and maybe they'll be able to take this game to a win.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Vanir, though, are ahead in gold right now. Seeing the bases coming in. As well, spent a bit of gold. They got a bit of time until this dragon spawning up. Coming up fairly soon, though. Lingui. I actually respect him. Have a cough. I respect him for not going too ham and diving in to the middle of that team. He had flash. He could have potentially set up a big Gnar. But I think he's also respecting around the fact that, like, as a champion right now, his flash and his Gnar probably way more... I mean, the Gnar will be back up in time, but his flash being way more valuable to potentially secure his team this Dragon number 2. Because right now, Ruddy are on Dragon number 2 themselves. So this could be their sole point over to the side of Ruddy, and Vanir definitely have the power now to contest this next dragon.
Absolutely, and it's Ocean Soul, which is all right. It does benefit Udyr a lot, K'Sante a lot. They're in the fight a lot, in the midst of everything, so not terrible with them. Does look like some kind of split push is coming out from the side of Ruddy, shadowing Niter in the top side so he can get this tier 2 turret. Lingui is going to have a hard time defending this because Jace in the side lane does outscale this, Gnar in terms of 1v1. Niter is a little bit accelerated, despite the whole team being behind. Niter is at the same items as Lingui, who actually has a lead in terms of kills.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, really interesting stuff. We'll see. Have to see how they accelerate this game now, because they have taken a tier 2 top side. Maybe they rotate and take the tier 2 bot side.
Oh, we'll have to see. For right now, gold lead still in favor of Vanir. Reset's coming in. The Navori's been picked up for the side of Chrisberg. Is still just cashing in on as much farm as he can, taking away Ploxy's jungle farm at this point. Ploxy's your full build, mate. You got your 2 items. That's as many items as junglers gets nowadays. It's going to be just grabbing as much gold as possible onto that AD carry, because he is realistically the late game insurance for his team. You know, like Ahri, sure there's an element of scaling, but it's not like a Kassadin, right? Like you're not waiting on Ahri hard scaling. Ahri very much a champion who spikes from that kind of mid game point and is a real damage threat late game, sure, but not like your carry. But Chrisberg on this Kai'Sa, he is going to be the key carry if this game does go on for another 20 minutes.
No, absolutely. And we see the shield come out for Demvoxy. The TP flank again.
Oh, there they come. He's got that ultimate up and available. They do actually get the double teleport, so down goes No Name. Depth charge used there by Touch. I think that was a little bit too overeager. This could just be Baron.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a pick around the Baron pit. They have to walk 5 meters to get there, and there's no smite now for the side of Ruddy. The engage, the
what a Gnar ult. They jump in there for everything down. The charm's connected. Nash is down. Onto Niter they go. Rifty, he can't dash anywhere because Luke is getting reset into reset into reset. A double kill for the Ahri. He's looking to make it a triple as Demvoxy has to throw the exhaustion down. Ploxy chums in with the smite, and it's the ace for the side of Vanir. An absolutely flawless team fight for these guys.
And they use the vision to their advantage. They didn't know if they were on Baron or not. They could not see. So Lingui sits in a bush with a pink ward, jumps out and finds that engage using the Baron as a bait. Realistically, though, what could Ruddy do? There's an argument that they should have just not contested it because they have no jungler anyway. Maybe they could have poked them off with the JCQs. At the end of the day, it does not matter. They chase down Denvoxney despite his best efforts. The point and click, the hooks from touch are too much, and they run them down.
And they got Baron off the back of that. During
I didn't even
replay,
see that.
Baron was secured over to the side of Vanir. Gold lead very, very comfortably in their favor. They've got that lead. They've got the Baron. I don't know the timer on Drake, unfortunately, but that should be spawning up relatively soon, if I remember right. Probably the next couple of minutes. And you can see just the individual gold leads right now. 600 over to Luca. 80 carry-wise, it's 900 top lane. There's a bit of a canyon in the gold lead right now. Lingui has a serious gold lead, 2,200 over Rifty.
I think this is a byproduct of the team play, though, right? Because of the natural lead that Vanir is securing, Lingui has been able to just free farm forever, right? Whereas Rifty, he's soft counterpicked. I say that they're trying to slow down the Baron siege by finding an engage.
Oh, they just threw everything on a Chrisberg, but he is untouchable. No Name standing in the front of the team. They threw everything at Chrisberg. And Chrisberg didn't have to burn a summoner spell, an ultimate. He just pressed E and put enough distance between him and the rest of the team. But Nash, sure, Nash connected with a charm, but like everybody else was too far away. And Chrisberg, he just got away scot-free.
And they don't manage to burst down Touch either, who drops down to maybe 30% HP. Now, they have to walk away, licking their wounds. Hopefully, they can find an engage, but they have no ultimates anymore, right? Nash hasn't got ulti. Denvoxney hasn't got ultimate. They're very ultimate gated, right? And they just don't have them, so they're going to have to deal with this siege. Fortunately for them, though, the side of Vanir does not have that much range, so maybe they can wave clear.
Yeah, it's an interesting take, actually, where I remember this from Jamada, where he talked about, you know, that first Baron, you judge it by how close to the inhibitor towers they can get with it. If you can at least get to those tier 3s, you don't have to take them, but as long as you open them up for future sieges for the second Baron, it's been an effective one. So far, definitely the case. They've been able to open mid and bot lane. Mid and bot lane. And now they're actually potentially going to be able to push for a second inhibitor, well, for a first inhibitor as well. A very, very effective Baron off the back of that ace. So, Vanir, playing this well, playing this smart. They are looking to back off, though. They recognize at this point they took a little bit of poke. They don't want to be too close towards Ruddy's base. And with the dragon spawning up in 28 seconds, Vanir probably just wanted to get some resets off and get back onto the map as soon as possible for this one.
And Ruddy desperately trying to slow down those recalls, walking them all the way back to base so that Vanir are slow on this dragon. Slow to get back and place their vision. And now Ruddy walk in, trying to stop more recalls with Ploxy. Ploxy can't recall anymore because Dragon's up too soon. I think they're going to have to give it because Ruddy do have full control. Unless they TP and potentially Brute Force.
Yeah, well, it looks like Brute Force is going to be the answer. I mean, they've got the gold lead to Brute Force here. Dodging away on Rifty's charge up. There's the Hex Flash from my touch. Unfortunately, missing that Q again. As Ruddy just have to pay respect here to Vanir. They're going to have to give this dragon up. Going to back off the back of this one. And Chrisberg actually going to solo it, while the rest of his team just buy him space to make sure this is not going to get stolen.
And it's just so incredibly difficult, isn't it? Like, I feel like you just can't walk up without getting engaged on because your team is so susceptible to the ultimates on the side of Vanir. You know, Vi ultimate and Nautilus ultimate into Jace and your carry in Zeri, it's just too easy to find that engage. So I think it's really difficult. Ruddy have found themselves in a hole where they just can't do anything proactive, and they have to hope that Vanir run into them and fail and engage, maybe capitalize on that with some kills. But they have to hope that happens multiple times.
Yes. Unfortunately, that is their condition right now. I mean, you got 3 items on the Jace. Like, if he lands a Q onto Chrisberg is going to feel it. It's going to do a lot of damage to him. And obviously with the slow, there is room for potential follow-up. But, you know, their major engage is Nash right now. I mean, other than like No Name ghosting into the team, like, it's not hard engage, right? It's all based on what Nash can do and what he can set up for the team. Vanir, they didn't even care about like going towards the side lanes and sieging. It looks like they just wanted to walk the minions into the base, force Ruddy to have to stay in this area, and now with the wave that's been built up by Lingui in the top side, Vanir can look to try and turn their attention towards this next tower. Whole bunch of damage onto Lingui actually off the Phoenix from the side of No Name, but that's the tower down. In comes Lingui with a 3-man lockdown. No Name will pay the ultimate price as well. Double kill picked up, and yeah, There might have been a good knockback by Rifty, but he will still pay the ultimate price. Luca misses out on the Zhonyas, and the stopwatch is going to have to just about limp away from Denvoxny, who is dodging everything thrown at him and putting out some pretty significant damage. Flash charm by Luca, a little bit optimistic. Niter and Denvoxny able to survive.
And Ruddy are trying their absolute best on the side of Niter and Denvoxny to pick up the pieces after the hard engage comes down, but they just get absolutely run over. Vanir Lingui, he just rolls them with a 3-man Naruto with a flash. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And this is a player I had worries about because of his inconsistency. He's really showing up in a big way here.
Yeah, he really is. Absolutely clean stuff coming in from him. It's Ruddy now. Just going to move into the jungle. Let's clear out some of these some of this vision that has been placed down. Obviously, with Baron spawning up in the next 20 seconds. Ruddy do want to try and get some priority onto this. The inhibitor still hasn't respawned, has a little bit of timer left on it, as Chrisberg just about avoiding away on some of that poke here. And Niter off on the distance. Now, Baron is potentially a little dangerous for Vanir when you are dealing with the poke that can come out from Niter. He is going to be able to do a serious amount of burst damage to those empowered shot blasts. If Touch isn't eating those and a shot blast hits the like of Chrisberg or Luca, they could potentially lose it. Or Denvoxny can just get ulted, or this team fight can just be all about Chrisberg, who's dodging away. Rifty's keeping onto him. He has to ult back Luca, keeping up to make sure Chrisberg stays alive, but a lot of damage thrown down. Lingui about to gnaw out. If he gets a big one down, Denvoxny could be in danger. And they just trade Rifty out here, but a lot of damage onto Chrisberg. The shot blast are infinitely scarier now.
And Touch finding that 5-man Nautilus ultimate. I think he got a bit caught up in the moment because he was nowhere near his team and no one could follow up instantly. I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I would love to see a replay of that. Doesn't look like anything connects, and they're just going to move over to Baron. They decide, you know what, Rifty is worth way more than Touch. I think there's an argument there because Touch is so good at like counter-engaging on that Baron siege. This is going down so quick, I think it might just be gone.
Niter's going to hit the shot blast, doesn't actually quite land it. They turn their attention immediately to No Name. Big 4-man knockup comes in. That's going to have to be the stopwatches out. This fight's gone bad. This has gone really bad for Vanir. Ruddy finding 2 kills. Denvoxny trying to keep the chase up, but it was not enough. Great target selection there from Ruddy. And are they going to get Baron?
From Nash. Watch Vanir's bot lane. They're on their way. They might be able to stop this.
And they do it.
Mana bars from Denvoxny here. He's It might be really difficult to fight. Knight is chunked as well.
Lingui comes in. Can he get the Gnar off? No, he can't. The Baron has been secured. That was without the smite as well. And Vanir, they tried their best, but Ruddy, you give them an inch and they take a mile.
Just highlighting Nash there, finding that 3-man knockup. Previous to this, actually, I think it was in this replay. Watch Nash here as he walks up. He manages to find a knockup on all the backline here. Oh. Beautiful. Finds that, and then it's just a cleanup squad duty, right? It's really easy. Hammerform Jace can go in, AoE that. Denvoxny is naturally AoEing with his run-ins and just natural sparks from his ultimate. Really good stuff on the side of Ruddy. Proper coordination there.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff coming in from Vanir on that one. Played that fight absolutely beautifully, but something that might make the fights harder for Ruddy is this Ocean Soul. Ploxy's on the flank. He's looking for the key target. Jumps in. Target's No Name here, interestingly. And now, Denvoxny can run away with it. Nash is absolutely on fire. The shutdown's being picked up. The carry is dead. And Vanir are crumbling as Ruddy have found their opportunity to pounce back into this game. Why did Ploxy ult No Name?
And what is going on? It's like other people are playing the game now. The team is falling apart. We were singing such high praises about their ability to teamfight, how easy it is. But they focus No Name on the Udyr. They ult the person who wants to be ulted. I think this is going to be game now. They're just going to go for the Nexus.
Yeah, this may just be it. They've got 20 seconds until Chrisberg's up and alive. Luca pushing into the Baron minions, can't quite land the charm. Turret number 1's down. Turret number 2, can it survive? Luca has to go golden. He hasn't got anything more than the flash. Tries to reposition away from it as Rifty is going to keep the chase on. Nexus will be forfeited here. And Ruddy come back from a absolutely colossal deficit.